I am Dana Malcolm. This is your Top Stories morning edition for Monday, January 29th, 2023. Coming up, the news that matters most.
He's wanted. From Grace Bay to Cooperjack Bay, North Caicos to South Caicos, he's wanted in all neighborhoods and communities for taking the stress out of home buying, for having intel on every hot property. He's Ramon Andrews of White Rock Realty, the most wanted realtor around. If contacted, your reward is your perfect luxury home and investment properties. To make a move, call 649-331-3000. Visit whiterockrdm.com.
Police are still holding on to the name of the latest murder victim after a quadruple shooting rocked the usually quiet capital of Grand Turk last weekend, leaving 3 wounded and 1 dead, likely resulting in the security lockdown at the Cockburn Town Medical Center. The West Road incident that could very well be described as a mass shooting happened late Friday night. Then on Saturday, videos emerged of a visibly bloody man walking along another Grand Turk street, refusing help from emergency personnel despite his serious injuries, which had soaked his clothes with blood. So far, no name, no motive, and no arrests made in the deadly gun attack. The Cockburn Town Medical Center has since been reopened to visitors. Robitussin Honey CF Max Day Adult and Nighttime Adult Cough Syrups are now under voluntary recall because of a microbial contamination, according to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA. The TCI Ministry of Health and Human Services is advising all consumers to stop using the product, and local suppliers can call the Environmental Health Department for disposal. Use could result in severe or life-threatening adverse events such as fungemia, which is fungi or yeast in the blood, or disseminated fungal infection. The North Caicos Stars landed back in the Turks and Caicos as Junior Junkanoo Winners last Saturday. The CV Bethel seniors took first place with 2,327 points in the Bahamian event, and in that group, decked out in white and red, was the 6-man team from North Caicos. 2 of the young men had a huge task, pushing the impressive banner for the first leg of the march. It is a historic win, closing off a historic trip where the young men became the first ever to rush Junior Junkanoo, representing the Turks and Caicos. Magnetic Media is your news leader.
Do you know the latest fuel factor rate on your electricity bill? It is important to track changes on the fuel factor rate, as it can vary from one month to another and is charged for every kilowatt hour of electricity you use. That is why managing your energy consumption and monitoring the rate is important. The fuel factor rate is based on the average cost of fuel at the time it is purchased from our fuel supplier, and therefore increases and decreases with market fuel prices. The way the fuel factor rate is calculated is set out by law, and we follow it to a T. The calculation is also reviewed and given the green light by the TCI Government Energy and Utilities Commissioner's Office every month before the release of electricity bills. We buy fuel weeks in advance to ensure your electricity supply remains stable. This means a change in market fuel prices today will take a few weeks before you see the changes reflected on your electricity bill. Stay in the loop with how the rate for your island is trending through our monthly notices shared directly to customer emails and on our social media pages, so you'll know what to expect.
Serious concerns about the state of the fire service are coming out of Grand Turk after a weekend fire cost a family their home and belongings. Onlookers explained their frustration to Magnetic Media, indicating that not only did the fire service take some time to arrive, but at least 1 truck was without water on arrival, and the small trucks had to keep leaving to get water because of their tiny volume, slowing down the response. Residents who spoke to the news team were bitterly disappointed about the response as the fire left the structure gutted. The PDM says a possible conflict of interest between Premier Washington Mizik and the recently passed gaming bills is of concern to them. Ezra Taylor, party chairman, in a Thursday statement, lambasted Mizik for lowering taxes for gaming halls, some of whom he had previously invested in. The Premier, speaking on behalf of Finance Minister E.J. Saunders, said the tax is fair and within international standards. Detrimental to taxpayers is how Taylor is describing the drop in taxes, especially, he says, as 2 new taxes have just been instituted for residents as they struggle financially. All charges against Esmeralda and Scott Allen have been dropped following a January 11th court appearance. Represented by Sheena Mayer, Esmeralda had been facing dangerous driving under the influence of drugs, and unlicensed driving charges. Scott was accused of allowing her to drive a vehicle without a license. The case has been withdrawn by the Office of the DPP. For weather in the Turks and Caicos Islands today, some clouds in the morning will give way to mainly sunny skies for the afternoon. A high of 80 degrees is expected. For tonight, partly cloudy skies during the evening will give way to cloudy skies overnight, and a low at 73 degrees is expected. I am Dana Malcolm. That is it for this edition of the news. Thank you so much for joining us.